is based on the number you were given. You're taking that and we're writing a synonym or drawing a picture for the word. My virtual, y'all, if y'all just want to draw a picture or if you just want to write a synonym, that is fine. So did I have someone else click in? No? Okay. All right, so the first word is idolatry. Please say idolatry. Idolatry is a noun, excessive or blind adoration, worship of an object. So we typically hear of idolatry in the Bible, right? When you had people doing things that were counter to what God wanted to do. They were worshiping idols. But it doesn't have to be an idol. It could be money. It could be another person, basically. Anybody that you put ahead of other things would be idolatry. You don't even realize it. This is blindly. So the person might not even know that they're doing that. So if your word is idolatry, what can you draw?
Money.
Money? Okay, sure. All right, next is adulterate. Please say adulterate. Adulterate is a verb to make impure, to contaminate, to taint, to corrupt. The fumes from the automobiles adulterate the air. The opposite of that is refine and refined. Okay, so what kind of things could you draw for adulterate? Yes, the chemical adulterates the air. Yes, we have a lot of pictures of factories in the back that are blowing smoke and things into the air. Yes. We have to be careful as consumers not to adulterate our environment with what we use, right? Okay, next is emanate. Please say emanate. Emanate is a verb meaning to come forth, to send forth, to rise, to emerge. She tried to control her anger, but harsh words began to emanate from her lips. So, what could you draw for this? Emanate.
Well, I get a mess. Kind of thing goes, you know, again. I don't know.
Oh, well, someone drew like this is a little bit harder. Someone drew a picture of the sun, and so it's like heat emanates from the sun. Sometimes someone who's very cheery, or also someone who's very negative, like someone who's in a bad mood, it emanates. Yes, so it kind of rubs off on you. So, Miss McLeod, you can't be in a bad mood or Miss McLeod. I mean, you just her cheeriness just rubs off. It emanates from her. Everybody, just happy. And then of course there's Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. Bless his heart, he's so melancholy that he just kind of gives off blue vibes, right? He's just kind of blue all the time. Emanates from him. Okay, next is garish. Please say garish. Garish is an adjective, tastelessly gaudy. I think that some of Elvis's later, when he was older, some of those outfits he wore were garish. It means tastelessly gaudy. Like they were it's just too flashy, too much. It's typically it's got a lot of either jewels that could be real or not.
Katy Perry or Lady Gaga.
Well, yes, that's a perfect example. So maybe I would see my illusions are too old. So yes, Lady Gaga or Katy Perry could be garish, showy, glaring, flashy. They're certainly not. You couldn't picture them behind working at the bank. No, they're complete opposites. That's a very good example. Amish would be complete opposite of a garish person. All right, so someone drew a garish hairdo. They had all the different colors of the rainbow in their hair, and that would be considered garish. All right, next is immutable. Please say immutable. Immutable is an adjective, means unchangeable, fixed, enduring, and so the laws of nature are immutable. Some people have drawn things like the cross to be immutable, because really it's hard to say that what things are immutable. Most things change. Most things erode. We're all subject to entropy. Entropy is the law of physics that says everything's going to eventually wear down and will burn out. So, it sounds so negative, but it's true. So what things are immutable? Not very many. Laws of nature, Christians believe God is. It's just, we don't have that many things. They're immutable. So if your word is immutable, what could you draw or write? Well, you could write a synonym, enduring.
Could you draw like a forest?
Sure, laws of nature. You sure can. Be beautiful. All right, next is diadem. Please say diadem. Diadem is a noun, a crown. Peter referred to his wife's blonde hair as her diadem. Yes. So I'll just draw a crown for that one. I love how that one's so simple, and some of these are very hard to try to think of what to draw. All right, bucolic. Please say bucolic. Bucolic is an adjective pertaining to the countryside, rural and rustic, pastoral. So I think I see a beautiful green meadow versus an urban setting versus a lot of buildings, right? Bucolic. All right, next is redolent. Please say redolent. Redolent is an adjective having a pleasant odor, suggestive or evocative. There was a wonderful redolent smell in the hallway. I just absolutely enjoyed it. I should say it was redolent because I guess if I say it's a smell, that's being redundant. So I enjoyed the redolence of the hallway. What could you draw if your word's redolent? Flowers, perfect. All right, next is impecunious. Please say impecunious. Impecunious is an adjective without money, penniless. Now, I am, guys, anytime the word I am is before a word, it means not. And pecuniary means money. So without money, impecunious. I would draw like a shattered piggy bank with no money. The little piggy bank, maybe he's frowning. I don't know. Destitute and indigent. The opposite of impecunious is affluent and prosperous. Impecunious. All right, next is sedition. Please say sedition. Sedition is a noun, rebellion or resistance against the government, treachery, disloyalty. I think of Benedict Arnold. I believe he sided with the British. That's been obviously a long time ago, but he was a traitor. He was guilty of sedition. All right, so if sedition's your word, what could you draw? Sedition.
Like the rioters.
Okay, yes. All right, next is defile. Please say defile. Defile is a verb to pollute, to corrupt. The oil spill defiled the entire bay.
Isn't that the same thing as adultery?
It is. I'm so glad you mentioned that. It is. We have two words that are just exactly alike. Adulterate, defile. Just depends on which one you want to use. They mean the same thing, don't they? So you could do like a picture of an oil spill, defile. All right, next is gratuitous. Please say gratuitous. Gratuitous is an adjective, unnecessary or uncalled for. I always just think of social media as gratuitous. But this could be just someone's always giving their opinion when you don't want it. It could be like what I have a lot of time is when I'm driving somewhere in town, because there's more than one way to get somewhere. Oh, I would have turned there, or I would go that way. And that is, to me, that's gratuitous information because like I'm driving, if you want to drive. But anyway, that's oftentimes gratuitous. All right, next is onus. Please say onus. Onus is a noun. It is a burden, a responsibility. I think it's ironic that we know what the words obligation, burden, and responsibility mean. We probably might have not known what onus means. Onus is much more simple. You just say, like, you have the onus of coming to school, right? When father died, Jake had the onus of running the farm. That's a really cool word. If you look at it closely, it just is on us put together. Get it? On us? Onus? But it's pronounced onus. Okay. Impious. Please say impious. Impious is an adjective disrespectful toward God. So what is the opposite of impious? Because I am means not. Pious. Pious is respectful toward God. A pious person is a Christian following, doing what God wants. Impious is the opposite.
Tyler, Sierra, Logan, Adia, they're on our vocab thing.
They're in our class. Oh, are they not? Oh, they're from my last class. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll fix that. I attached the wrong one. I'll go back and fix that, guys. I attached 4 instead of 5. Okay, next is caveat. Please say caveat. Caveat is a noun, a warning, admonition, a caution. John had so much confidence in his ability that he did not heed the old caveat. Yes, harbinger, yes, it can. See, and it's what's so cool about the English language is the more you have all of these words, you're going to be able to choose from, like you can choose many different colors in a painting. All right, let me, guys, I'm so sorry I did that. Let me, what? I posted too.
Yeah, Joshua and Liz share already did their census. That's 1D.
Oh,
I got one big.
that's not 1B. I labeled it 1B. I'm gonna have to go back and redo these. I'll tell you what happened this morning. This was a problem. That's 4. We have a shared English department folder, and what it was at the beginning of the year, we decided to all do the same vocab. So that means 8th grade.
Go back and forth because you have Robert in your work period class. Another good.
But yeah, they didn't have to do this yet. This was early. I mean, they, yeah. So let me get rid of this. This is the wrong one. For 4. If I can figure it out. If I don't fix it today, it'll be fixed tomorrow. I don't know that I
Go
can.
to the 3 dots.
Yep. Thank you. I'm gonna get rid of this. I'll add. I gotta find 5B. But anyway, what I was saying was we share vocab. We're doing all the same vocab, and which is great. But what happened was Miss Eggers remembered you guys have already done when you started school. You've already finished 1 through 6, so we couldn't start with 1 like 8th, 9th, and 10th grade did, and 11th grade. Seniors had to start with 7 because I didn't want you to have the same words you had, although it probably wouldn't hurt you at all. I just wanted you to have new words. I thought, well, so that's why we're not all the same. It was going to be over all the same words. But we share vocab and tests and all that. And so I didn't know this, but because it's in the English shared folder, I had to make a copy. I couldn't just post the one in there. And it was messing up my classroom. It wouldn't let me post anything because I had all this work done yesterday. And so I figured it out this morning. Miss Eggers told me that, and I was like, oh, okay. So I've been in a cluster all day, just trying to kind of figure everything out. So that's the probably more than you wanted to know, but that's the issue. So I'm just wondering now if this one will it not let me see the whole title of that? I need to see what all that says. I click on it. Hang on, guys. Oh, see, that's 4. That's gonna be the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Okay, I'll do this later because it's gonna take me all day. I'll do it better when nobody's watching me. All right, so
Tell me what my number is. I think it's 13.
your number is 13. So guys, don't have to write sentences today. That'll be tomorrow. I'll have to go in and figure all this out, what we've done.
Mine's 5, right?
Yeah, and remember what you know what I'm gonna say. You are what you think you are, 5. You are what you think you are. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and go to this. I know that y'all aren't finished drawing your little things, are you yet? No. My virtual people at home can just send me synonyms, or you can attach pictures to the document to let me know that you are following along. And I'm trying to remember where we got to exactly in this. Had he already gotten to the castle?
Where he was in the back, the green
Mhm.
dude was in the back, and then, I think he went to stop off his head and then he flinched.
Oh, we're that far. Oh my god, we're almost finished.
And then, like, you're not, like, know where we're.
I know exactly where we are. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and then, I think he went to go off his head, or no,
Do it again.
yeah, and then, I think it was.
Perfect. We'll just, to be safe, we'll just start at line 275 or ish around there. Perfect. See, we don't have long at all, so we will finish this today. Anybody finished with their card already? I can go ahead and post the cards from 4. Got it. Oh, history isn't. I guess history is immutable. If it's already done, right? Great. Who is this? Well, that's what breakfast in the file, pouring something in the ocean. It looks like it's not been present. Who's the file? You don't like this week's card? No, we'll get one, aren't they?
Yeah.
Sometimes we have a lot of words that you're already familiar with, like I know these, but some of these have a little bit new.
Oh, idolatry. Looks like somebody worshiping the school. That's interesting.
Oh, no.
Honest. Someone drew a picture of the school honest, saying that that's your responsibility to try.
Here you go.
Thank you. That's so good. You can tell how a lot of kids, learning, I have some more hard for this.
Okay.
Honest, very good.
Oh,
I tell you, I sure do. Oh, this week got to you.
thank you for saying that.
Anybody else need one? Need Arlington?
For
I
what?
wonder what this one will be. You can figure out which one it is. I'm gonna give you that. It's fun. T-shirt ones.
And Matilda Grant. Wait, it's the penniless one, though, without money.
Oh, you're welcome. That would be the impecunious. Impecunious. How did you, what did you
It's a wallet. I already have this.
Oh, you need it.
No.
Impecunious. Thank
But she
you.
just reminded me that I have to put it in.
Eliminate. All right, guys. All right, anyone else need a t-shirt? They're supposed to be due tomorrow. Little Prince t-shirts?
All right. Okay, guys, so are y'all ready to finish up? I think we need to just kind of run through the story again to make sure, do a recap of it to refresh our memories. Does that sound good to everybody? Do what? Reading? Let's just go ahead and go back and what is this about? What happens at the beginning? It's what time of year is it? Christmas time. And the setting is King Arthur's court. Christmas, they're all having a good time, eating. I picture the Harry Potter. This is such a pretty time, you know. And then who comes through the door? Just bursts in. Anybody remember?
The green guy.
The green giant, the green knight, that's right.
Out. My
And
bad.
he is a giant, he's huge. And he comes in carrying two things. What are they?
A holly and a sword. An axe.
The axe, which means peaceful, and he's like, ooh, the axe. He's kind of contradicted a little bit in this presentation. But he comes, I'm not here to fight, I've worn soft clothing, but I do want a Christmas game. So what does he say, what does he want?
For them to chop his head off.
That's right, and then a year and a day later,
He didn't chop that big head off.
alright, so when he first says that, they're like, that's crazy. No one says anything. They're quiet, and Arthur says, okay, well, I'll do it. He's getting ready to do it, and who speaks up?
The third one.
But Wayne says, oh, you know what, I need to do this for you guys, because why? He gives reasons.
Because he's not as important and nobody will listen.
Right. I won't be missed. I'm really smart. I'm the youngest. The only reason I'm worth anything is because you're my uncle. I've got a little bit of your blood in me, so that makes me feel worthy. So I'll do this. And they agree. That's okay. So he does it. He cuts the Green Knight's head off. It rolls around. They fend it off with their feet. And then what happens?
The giant thing gets his head and holds it up. He's like talking while holding his head. Kind of like.
Yeah. Points it at King Arthur and Sir Gawain says, okay, a year and a day, you come find me at the Green Chapel. Everyone knows where I live. Come find me so I can return this favor to you. And he rides off, kind of like the headless horseman with the flint kicking up the horse and all, and it rides off. So we skip up and we have, it's time for him to start traveling because it takes a while, medieval times, to travel anywhere. It's winter. He's traveling. He has a tough time getting there. And the poem really goes into all the different trials and tribulations he has. We don't read that because we're reading the excerpts. He finally gets to a castle, and it is just like, you can imagine, you're on a journey. You know how good it looks to have like your hotel or wherever you're going, grandma's house, whatever it is. It's like, oh, I'm there. Thank goodness, because I'm so tired of traveling. I'm so ready to be there. Well, he was, many times that because of, I'm sure, just cold and hungry. So he goes to this beautiful castle, and he gets all this feast. Sir Bertilac welcomes him. You can stay here. And then Bertilac says, I'm going to go hunting. So every day I hunt, I'll let you have what I what I get, what I kill out there, right? And he says, but you need to give me whatever you collect in the day. Well, okay. So he goes hunting, and Gawain stays there, and what happens to him?
The wife keeps hitting on him.
Yes.
And he's like, dude, you need to stop. And she's like, no. And then so she kissed me. So every day he was on kiss the dude.
Yeah.
And then finally, like, I think almost the last day he was there, she was like, oh, here, take this precious, like, valuable thing.
Right.
What was it?
It was a ring, a gold ring,
And then he wouldn't take it, and so he gave you, like,
a green sash.
yeah, that's what I thought. And then it was supposed to, like, keep him alive.
Yeah, because at first he's like, no, I can't take anything. No, and she goes, oh, you think it's not valuable, but listen, this will save a person's life. No one can kill a person if they got this on. And he's like, oh, that could be pretty handy right now. And so she says, but if you take it, you can't tell anybody, which would be going against what? His oath. I can't tell a lie, right? And he's supposed to give the Lord whatever he gets during the day. So he doesn't do that, does he? And he comes to time to meet up with the Green Knight. He's got that on, and he hears before he even sees the Green Knight, he hears the axe being sharpened. And so the Green Knight comes to him, and what happens the first time?
When he goes to chop his head off,
He flinches, and the Green Knight says, you can't be of the Round Table. You would never flinch. Gawain is not a coward.
yeah.
And so does he talk him into trying to do it one more time?
Yeah.
Okay, wait, y'all remember that part or not? Because I think I might go ahead and start reading. Maybe it's right. No, we've already read that. You can't be Gawain, right here, line 262. I think maybe we stopped right here.
I think we did.
Restored. Okay. He says, but give it to me again. If my head falls to the stones, it can't be restored. He's like, let me have another chance. Line 276. But be brisk, man, by your faith, and come to the point. Deal out my doom if you can, and do it at once. For I'll stand for one good stroke, and I'll start no more until your axe is hit, and that I swear. Here goes then, said the other, and heaves it aloft, and stands there waiting, scowling like a madman. He swings down sharp, then suddenly stops again, holds back the axe with his hand before it can hurt, and Gawain stands there stirring, not even a nerve. He stood there still as a stone of the stalk of a tree that's wedged in rocky ground by 100 roots. Oh, merely then he spoke, the man in green. Good, you've got your heart back. Now I can hit you. May all that glory the good King Arthur gave you prove efficacious now, if it ever can, and save your neck. So he's like, he doesn't flinch. He's so still, and the Green Knight stops and doesn't. He goes, oh, you didn't flinch. He's like prolonging the agony of this, right? In rage, line 291, Sir Gawain shouted, hit me, hero. I'm right up to here with your threats. Is it you that's the cringing coward after all? Woo, said the man in green. He's wrathful, too. He's kind of picking at him. No pauses, then. I'll pay up my pledge at once. I vow. He takes his stride to strike and lifts his lip and brow. It's not a thing Gawain can like, for nothing can save him now. He raises that axe up lightly and flashes it down, and that blinding bit bites in at the knight's bare neck. But hard as he hammered it down, it hurt him no more than to nick the nape of his neck. So it split the skin. The sharp blade slit the flesh through the shiny hide, and red blood shot to his shoulders and spattered the ground. And when Gawain saw his blood where it blinked in the snow, he sprang from the man with a leap to the length of a spear. He snatched up his helmet swiftly and slapped it on, shifted his shield into place with a jerk of his shoulders, and snapped his sword out faster than sight, and said boldly, immortal born of his mother that he was, there was never on earth a man so happy by half. No more strokes, my friend. You've had your swing. I've stood one swipe of your axe without resistance. If you offer me any more, I'll repay you at once with all the force and fire I've got, as you will see. I take one stroke, that's all, for that was the compact we arranged in Arthur's hall. But now no more for me. All right, so Gawain effectively hits him, but what only does it do? It just nicks him a little bit, and Gawain's reaction is happy to be alive, right? But then what does he do immediately?
If you got another stroke, then I'll
I'm fighting back. I'm not going to just sit here and let you cut my head off. I put my helmet on. I've got my sword. I've got my shield. It's going to be a fight. You're not going to just come and let me. I'm not going to let you just cut my head off. All right. So the Green Knight remained where he stood, relaxing on his axe, settled the shaft on the rocks, and leaned on the sharp end and studied the young man standing there, shoulders hunched. and considered that staunch and doughty stance he took, undaunted yet, and in his heart he liked it. And then he said merrily with a mighty voice, with a warlike rushing wind, he reproved the knight. Here, don't be such an ogre on your ground. Nobody here has behaved with bad manners towards you, or done a thing except as the contract said. I owed you a stroke, and I've struck. Consider yourself well paid. And now I release you from all further duties. If I'd cared to hustle, it may be, perchance, that I might have hit somewhere harder, and then you might well be cross. The first time I lifted my axe, and it was light-hearted sport, I merely fainted and made no mark, as was right. For you kept our pact of the first night with honor, and abided by your word, and held yourself true to me, giving me all you owed as a good man should. I fainted a second time, friend, for the morning you kissed my pretty wife twice and returned me the kisses. So this is why he, go ahead. Okay. The Green Knight is explaining why he says, I've told you I was going to strike you. I've struck you. And he said, you're released from your duties. He said, the first time I lifted your axe, it was lighthearted sport. I merely faked. I made no mark, because you kept line 339. You kept our pact. The first night, you kept your word and held yourself true to me. You gave me everything you got that day, giving me all you owed as a good man should.
The Green Knight's the dude?
Yeah, Bertilac. Bertilac's the Green Knight. Yes. Yes.
Wait,
Well, you just found out. You just found out. And guys, listen, I read something that said that Mordred, it was either Mordred or Morgan Le Fay. Maybe it was Morgan Le Fay. Morgan Le Fay put a spell on Sir Bertilac so that he could test a Knight of the Round Table, which gave him supernatural powers to be able to pick his head up and all that stuff. So he'll.
So Big Green Dude.
Yeah.
The
Green Knight is
Green Knight
really.
is the same person as Bertilac.
That's right.
Okay? And Bertilac's the dude with the wife.
That's right.
Okay.
Right.
So what is he saying here? That like
He's saying the first time I fainted a strike because you kept all your promises to me. Then he said, what here? All right, giving me all you owed. I fainted a second time, friend, for the morning you kissed my pretty wife twice and returned me the kisses. And so the first 2 days, mere faints, nothing more severe. So he's saying that you just got nothing because you were true. A man who's true to his word, there's nothing he needs to fear. You failed me, though, in the third exchange, so I've tapped you here. The only reason he even got nicked was because he did what? He wore the girdle. He didn't tell him that he had it. Okay, does that make sense? Line 350, am I going too fast? Are we good, guys? That sash you wear by your scabbard belongs to me. My own wife gave it to you, as I ought to know. I know, too, of your kisses and all your words and my wife's advances, for I myself arranged them. It was I who sent her to test you. I've convinced you're the finest man that ever walked this earth, as a pearl is of greater price than dry white peas. So Gawain indeed stands out above all other knights. But you lacked a little, sir. You were less than loyal, but since it was not for the sash itself or for lust, but because you loved your life, I blame you less. Sir Gawain stood in a study a long, long while, so miserable with disgrace that he wept within, and all the blood of his chest went up to his face, and he shrank away in shame from the man's gentle words. The first words Gawain could find to say were these: Cursed be cowardice and covetousness both, villainy and vice that destroyed all value. He caught at the knots of the girdle and loosened them, and fiercely flung the sash at the Green Knight. There's my fault. The foul fiend vex it. Foolish cowardice taught me, from fear of your stroke, to bargain, covetous, and abandon my kind, the selflessness and loyalty suitable in my knights. Here I stand, faulty and false, much as I feared them. Both of them, untruth and treachery. May they cease sorrow and care. I can't deny my guilt. My work shines none too fair. Give me your goodwill, and henceforth I'll beware. So he feels really bad. He's beating himself up. But what does the Green Knight tell him? He's like, you took the sash not because you are materialistic.
or you like you're less.
Right. You took it to save your life, which is what he says is, I blame you less. It's like, you do value your life, and I can't blame you for that. All right. And that the Green Knight laughed, saying graciously, whatever harm I've had, I hold it amended, since now you're confessed so clean, acknowledging sins and bearing the pain penance of my point. I consider you polished as white and as perfectly clean as if you had never fallen since you were first born. And I give you, sir, this gold embroidered girdle, for the cloth is as green as my gown. Sir Gawain, think on this when you go forth among great princes. Remember our struggle here. Recall to your mind this rich token. Remember the Green Chapel, and now, come on, let's both go back to my castle and finish the New Year's revels with feasting and joy, not strife. I beg you, said the Lord, and said, as for my wife, she'll be your friend, no more a threat against your life. No, sir, said the knight, and seized his helmet and quickly removed it, thanking the Green Knight. I've reveled too well already, but fortune be with you. May he who gives all honors honor you well. And so they embraced and kissed and commended each other to the Prince of Paradise and parted then in the cold. Sir Gawain turned again to Camelot and his lord, and as for the man in the green, he went wherever he would. All right, so guys, what do we think of this? Symbolically, there are, of course, Christian elements. You could even look at it like it sounds like a Christian who has done something wrong and he's repenting, and it sounds and it's there on purpose. It is there for sure. But what do we think about this? What is a lesson? Because I think a lot of our great literature is didactic. It teaches us lessons. So what can we ascertain from this? To tell the truth. Always tell the truth. Good. Anything else? Because the truth comes out, doesn't it? It always comes out. I mean, and you're better off. You don't have to have a good memory at all if you're, tell the truth always, because it's always, someone always knows. It's like it's always for sure. All right. We've got a couple things we can do, and I know we have about 10 minutes until tech time. So I'm going to let you choose. Now, we're going to do both things anyway, but I don't know what you'd rather do now. I've got one little journal entry. We can do that tomorrow, and we can start watching a little bit of the film I've got, or we can watch the film and finish it tomorrow and do the journal entry tomorrow. What would y'all rather do? The journal entry takes about 5 to 10 minutes. Do that? Okay. So in your journal entry, I'm going to go ahead and make one for you. I'm going to put it under, it's going to be in your journal. That way it's easy. And I know I've already graded, I've already given you points for what you've done so far. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw a line because I've already graded. It'll let me do that. I don't want to erase those, but I want to. Why is it not letting me do that? Okay, there we go. I just don't want anybody getting confused on that. So it's going to be, and this is going to have you thinking back a little bit, but I'm going to have you compare Beowulf to the Green Knight. And I'm going to ask, who do you think is more heroic? This will be journal number 6. I'll just keep it all numbered. All right, and or Sir Gawain, not the Green Knight.
Wait, I only have
What is it? Okay, guys, I've already given you points for your first 5, so I've drawn those. Oh, that looks terrible. Those lines. This is for journal 6. It says, and you can, if you want to make a new document, because I've already graded, I've already given you points for those first 5. But I just thought I would keep journal 6. For Sir Gawain the Green Knight, who was more heroic in your opinion, Beowulf or Sir Gawain? Explain. It's opinion. And I'm thinking this is going to be just like a paragraph, maybe a couple paragraphs at most. Okay. So virtual, we're doing our journal entry. And we are asking, who is more heroic, Beowulf or Sir Gawain, in your opinion? I'm going to go ahead and stop recording because I don't plan on covering anything new today. We're just going to finish out letting you all write.